Hello everyone and welcome to another safety training video from the Morning Safety Briefs video series. I am Dr. George. Thank you for joining us. Today is Thursday, March 1st, 2012. Yesterday was an emotional day for many Americans. Many of us got to see the devastation that took place in many communities throughout the Midwest due to severe weather. For me it was a sad reminder of the type of destruction that these killer storms can actually do to small communities. Personally, I must confess that I am very fortunate that in the last 30 years, I have had a diverse, and often, very challenging professional career. It has been my pleasure these past 30 years, to have worked with a great number of men and women who give their very best every day to ensure that the job they do, gets done well. This brings me back to the beginning of this video. During times like these, disaster relief workers, along with local communities, join forces to ensure that disaster victims are safe, and together, they work toward a safe and speedy recovery. For me personally, I had the pleasure several years ago to work as a disaster safety officer for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. From 2007 to 2009, I probably spent an average of 6 to 10 months each year, working on various disasters throughout Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Southern Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Georgia. I have come to recognize that in time of crisis and hardship, many Americans step up to the plate to help each other unconditionally and never expecting anything in return. In my opinion, this is what made this country so great. To me personally, this behavior was most noticeable while working these Midwestern states. It was during these visits that I realized that this community support was one of the reasons why we call this area the American Heartland. In my own personal experience, here is an area of our country where I often had the pleasure of meeting disaster victims. Many of these folks, instead of demanding from us to give them everything they could possibly think of at taxpayers' expense, instead were sad and embarrassed, and often feeling awkward when asking us to help them with their basic needs, such as food, dry clothes and temporary shelter until they could get back into their homes. Yesterday, I was saddened when I first heard about the extreme weather and the destruction left behind by these killer storms. I felt this way not only because I practically lived there for many months, but also because I had the opportunity to meet great people who truly know what the American dream was all about. But just as soon as the feeling of sadness had come over me, it was quickly replaced with a sense of relief. Suddenly, I realized that no matter what the people from the American heartland experience in real life, I felt deep inside that the people of Kansas, Missouri, and the rest of this region will get back on their feet with pride. Most importantly, they will work together to rebuild their communities once again. My thoughts go out to these families and their communities, and I ask all of you to join me wishing them a speedy recovery. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you and your family prepared to deal with this type of natural disaster? Have you made the necessary emergency plans to address a similar situation in your community? Do you know what to do if you face a similar situation? Well, disaster response and emergency planning is not only a task for government officials to deal with or worry about. In our society, responsible citizens must do their part to ensure that when a disaster strikes, they are capable of confronting the situation until help arrives. Every homeowner and head of household should be ready and capable to protect their family and property until outside assistance can be reached. Disaster planning and preparation does not necessarily mean that you need to be prepared for a doomsday scenario. Disaster planning also deals with natural and man-made disasters such as hurricanes, tornadoes, hail and ice storms, flooding, fires, and civil unrest. Because we think it is very important, the next several safety training videos from our Morning Safety Briefs video series will address different catastrophic events in more detail. We will discuss simple ways for you and your family to plan and prepare, simple ways to confront these type of potential disasters. We hope you take the time to join us. Please, tell friends and neighbors where they can find us. May we suggest that you become a regular viewer to the Morning Safety Briefs website by subscribing to our email? It's easy. Just visit our website at www.morningsafetybrief.com. Once again, Thank you for joining me. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility, so do your part to ensure a safe and healthy environment. Until next time, this is Dr. George, wishing you a safe and pleasant day. Goodbye.